Welcome to the Science of Sailing program at Piers Park Sailing Center. This video is for Level 1 sailors learning terminology and theory. Today we'll be learning the 3 basic points of sail. In the sail trim video, we talked about pulling in our sails if we head up or letting out our sails when we bear off. In this video, we're going to get a little more precise with our sail trim by learning 3 basic points of sail. First, we'll talk about sailing downwind. Sailing downwind means you're sailing with the wind blowing from the same direction as you're moving. In other words, you're sailing down the wind or with the wind. You can tell the wind direction by looking at the telltales on the shrouds. They'll be pointing towards the bow of the boat if you're sailing downwind. In order to catch the wind, you should let out your jib and mainsail all the way so that the wind can push the boat forward. So when you bear off, you're heading farther away from where the wind is coming from, and that's why you need to let out your sails. The opposite of sailing downwind is upwind, and it's the next basic point of sail we'll be talking about. Sailing upwind means that you're sailing the opposite direction from where the wind is coming from. So you're sailing up or against the wind. But this is different than being in irons when you're sailing into the wind. When sailing upwind, you're sailing at an angle from where the wind is coming from. You can tell because the telltales will be pointing towards the back of the boat. In order to catch the wind to actually be pulled forward, you need to pull in your sails as much as possible. So when you head up, you're getting closer to the wind and sailing against it, and you need to pull in your sails more. Your jib and mainsail should look almost like a straight line when they're pulled in all the way. The last basic point of sail is sailing across the wind. This means that the wind is coming across the side of your boat at even more of an angle than sailing upwind. If you look at your telltale, it'll be pointing towards the side of the boat. It's somewhere in between sailing upwind and downwind, which also means that the jib and mainsail need to be somewhere in between upwind and downwind positions. So to catch the wind efficiently, you should let out your sails about halfway. Here's a summary of what we've talked about today. The 3 basic points of sail are downwind, upwind, and across the wind. For downwind, the wind is coming from behind you, so the telltales will point to the bow. You should let out your sails all the way. Sailing upwind means sailing against the wind, so the telltales will be pointing towards the stern. You should pull in your sails all the way. Lastly, sailing across the wind means that the wind is coming from over the side of the boat, and the telltales are pointing perpendicular to the boat. Hopefully now you have an understanding of the 3 basic points of sail. We'll see you in the next video.